Ghosty fam, Amy here. Welcome to The Activity Continues, a podcast where three soul friends talk about all things paranormal. Ghosts, hauntings, psychics, movies and TV shows, especially The Dead Files, and other spooky and spooky adjacent things. We also like to interview people in the paranormal community, as well as past Dead Files clients and other interesting people. Sometimes we even tell your stories. I hope you enjoy the show. Michelle sent me a bunch of pictures on Facebook of behind the scenes stuff with her and the crew and Steve and Amy and everything. Mm-hmm. And I tried to send them to you guys because when I opened them, it said I could share them. And Amy said they don't work.
Oh, I haven't. Yeah, I wasn't able to check, but
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us again. Feel free to change your... Oh, I'm supposed to change our ad lib here. Got it. Thank you all for joining us. And we're all excited to bring you a new and different episode today with a client interview. Today, we are going to be talking to Dead Files clients, Christa and Michelle. Their episode is called Deadly Force and originally aired October 3rd, 2019. And our episode covering their episode came out on April 4th. So just recently. So hopefully you have had a chance to listen to it. We are recording on April 8th today.
Yep.
Amy, what might we be warning them all about today?
I'm so glad you asked. I have no idea. We do know that Christa had cancer as a child, and so that'll probably come up. But I would just suggest check in the show notes because we really don't know where this conversation may go. And if we find something that's, major, like if we end up talking about something kind of major, like we did last week with Kelly and Diane, I will do a voiceover. But otherwise, check the show notes and that's where all your warnings will be.
Did you guys like my feel free to change your ad lib? Because I totally did that on purpose.
It reminded me of Annie when Daddy Warbucks is doing the radio ad.
Oh,
Daddy Warbucks, drop
in
page.
25 years.
No,
when I was in high school, I watched that movie every single day in study hall over and over and over again. Gotcha. And we always had to skip over The Sun Will Come Out Tomorrow because I hate that song.
Oh.
Good to know.
I was obsessed with the play when I was a kid. So the Broadway play.
Mm. Oh, nice.
So I was a little too old by the time the movie came out. I mean, I still saw it, of course, because I loved it for so long.
Love Carol Burnett, but love Tim Curry.
Yeah. Yeah. They were all great. I was just used to the Broadway
cast.
Who's
the other one? Bernadette
Peters.
Thank you.
Yep. Oh, she's good in everything. She's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured I must have got you two on that one, though, because you both were like, oh, shoot, she said what she wasn't supposed to say.
Well, and then I was like, oh, we're all laughing when you started over. And so I was like, do you want to start over again? But then it seemed like you thought we should just keep it. So, yeah.
We'll no, you keep it in there. It was purposeful.
Okay, good. That reminds me of Friends. Joey, when he was doing some kind of acting thing and he was reading the teleprompter and it said, welcome, insert name here, instead of saying his own name.
I get some of those emails.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love when they do that, or they just leave a space and a comma, and it's like, oh, you didn't have your pipe text going through.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Someone didn't edit.
No.
Someone didn't test.
Yeah. Okay. Should we let them in?
Yeah.
All righty. Here we go. Admit.
3, 2, 1, go.
Admit what?
Just
God, I'm so full of it
just
today.
Admit it.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
How are you all doing?
Wonderful.
Good.
Lovely. So glad you guys could join us. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Of course.
We really, really appreciate it.
We're super excited. Yeah.
Good. Michelle, I just got those pictures you sent me via Facebook. I tried to send it to the other ladies and it wouldn't let me. They couldn't open it. So they haven't seen them yet. I have. We can still talk about all of that.
So freaking cute, aren't they?
Yes. Oh my God. There's a picture of Steve.
She didn't even tell us what they are. So
no, she didn't.
Because I thought I thought they were going to be able to see them until we get on.
She's holding her cards
like,
close to her
didn't
chest.
work.
She never tried to send them, actually.
Yeah.
Don't let her lie to you.
We were like, Amy, what are they? And she was like, you don't get to see them. And then she stuck her tongue out at us, which was really rude.
Oh, I have that.
I thought we were past this from the last time this happened, but no.
Nope.
I am happy to. Krista and I are both happy to share them with all of you. You just have to friend me on Facebook. It was just the easiest way for me to get them over to you as fast as possible. I mean, I could pull them up and we could share our screen, but
that's what I was trying to do. But I'm on my computer that I don't have all my apps on. I just use it for recording, and so I tried to open up my Facebook Messenger, and it's like loading, and it's been doing that.
For computers from 2000.
Yeah, it probably is. I mean, the computer itself, I mean, we put new parts in it, but
Sounds like an airplane when you turn it on. You duck because you think an airplane's taking off, and you're like, oh shit, it's just Amy's computer.
It's actually much better than my laptop. My laptop is so loud. That's part of why I don't record on it, because my laptop is so loud it sounds like a jet engine in the background.
Oh my.
But this old clunker seems to be doing pretty well.
Krista, I think your hair is beautiful. And Michelle, I love your background. Beautiful.
Cherry blossoms. I have them pulled up if you want to see them real quick.
Okay, let's do it.
Yes, please. Selfishly.
See if I can do it the right way. Crystal.
No, we don't do anything the right way.
No, we don't like to do things the right way.
Okay, let's see.
We like to do them the dumbest way possible.
This is this is behind the scenes.
Oh my god.
Okay, do you
he was the nicest.
Who is that? Actually, go ahead.
I don't remember his name. It was George Zingo says it in the caption.
Oh
yeah, okay. George. He was the mic guy, wasn't he? Yeah. Oh yeah. What's it called? The boom operator.
Mm-hmm.
There's Steve with our golden Max.
Oh. Steve is such a dog guy. Oh my gosh, how sweet.
Olive. And that's the Spirit Mechanics crew. That was after they were here and everything was done.
Awesome. Good. How fun.
Okay, so wait a second. Do you actually have a tiki bar in your backyard?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, now we have to
that's
come.
me. There's the big scene.
I love it.
Oh, Marley waiting for everyone to be over. We didn't get to talk about the cookies. Oh, well, on the one I sent her, wait, hold on. The one of, it was there. No, I sent her your post and you could really see the cookies. The cookies are so important to see. Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I agree that cookies are always important.
These are traditional Greek cookies that I shaped into D and F for dead files, and then I did Amy and Steve, so I did A's and S's too.
That is
see the A's and S's there. Yeah.
Oh man, I would have had too much fun making words out of all those letters, especially A's and S's.
Yeah. Because weren't they here for, wasn't it the weekend at Greek Easter? And we had to it may have been, because it would have been about the right time. Yeah, I think it was. Okay. Anyway. Show and tell.
I love it.
That was awesome.
I love it. People can see them.
Cool.
Well, I see that you both have names after your names. Do you want to talk about what those are? I don't know how much clearer I could be with that statement.
They appear to be business names after your human names.
Nope, names after names. I'm sticking with it.
I'll go first because I have them both set up for us that way. It actually is just our default Zoom names. And there are business names because we do a lot of different meetings, networking meetings, stuff like that. So Wicked Wisdom Consulting is my company. I'm an operations, fractional COO and operations consultant. So I basically help online businesses run efficiently.
Awesome.
Yeah. Hence,
is that what a fractional CEO, did you say?
Fractional CEO is basically just fancy. It's basically a fancy way of saying part-time operations manager, director, chief operating officer. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Hence why Moksha Grace runs so smoothly, because Krista is my COO and makes sure that I look good or the company looks good. So I do emotional liberation coaching for people that are struggling
with their emotions managing them versus them managing their emotions. And basically it's emotional alchemy. So that is which is also corporate's way. Well, corporate would call it emotional intelligence. I call it emotional alchemy, but yeah.
That sounds like more fun.
Yeah, way more fun. Way more fun. Way more fun.
I just picture you like in a basement with like vials around you, like, let's make happiness and sadness.
That's an apothecary.
Yes, but yes, I do have to work with some of that stuff, but we'll talk about that.
Yes, we will.
I have some skulls that look like that too. My stepmom made them out of resin.
Oh, cool.
I think I gave her the skull thing actually. I know I
the
gave
skull
her a bunch
tray.
of stuff. It's like a mold, and it looks just like those.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, we're big
nice.
on skulls. I've got skulls everywhere.
Oh, cool.
Have my sweetgrass and did my little smudging.
All right. Well, where should we begin?
Because they have parts of skulls, but they're antlers and stuff. I deer hunt, so.
Oh, nice.
Okay, as long as you don't say goat hunt, we're okay.
No, my sister has goats.
As pets.
Yeah, one was so we have Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger. So Sylvester was brought to my sister's house as an anniversary present from their best man, who told the lady he bought him from that my sister had other hoofed animals.
Oh.
And she only had 5 acres and dogs and cats. So poor little Sylvester at 7 weeks old was by himself until my sister went and got Arnie. And Sylvester would sit there and go, Mom, Mom. Oh, it was the most he said, Mom. It was so heartbreaking.
Oh, yeah.
They came out of, they were 2 male goats, no longer fully male, but they are now about 250 pounds each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're big guys.
Oh, yeah. We have ours are basically, they're dwarfs, so they're miniature. So it's actually really surprising how small they are. But yeah, ours started the same way, and he was so unhappy being alone, he escaped the first day. And that's where we really learned about goats. And then we got him a woman. And then a year later, we had 9.
Oh, my.
Yeah, it happens
please
that
tell
quickly.
me you put pajamas on them.
No, they're all fixed now.
Good, yeah.
Had babies, though. I don't think we did. We had to get heaters, though.
Oh, no, yeah,
The
no
first
pajamas.
year we had babies was the time in Florida where it decided we had an actual cold front that was actually cold. So we had to get full on heaters and stuff. But it's addicting to have baby goats, but gotta cut it off.
And they
I can
reproduce
imagine.
like bunnies.
Yeah.
Like bunnies.
Yeah.
And you got
So
But they're so cute.
what kind of initially led you to contact the Dead Files? I mean, had the activity always been going on and it just kind of spiked, or did it come out of nowhere, or what led to that initial contact?
So we actually, at our last property before this one, had activity, and I wanted to reach out to, actually, I may have reached out to ghost hunters as well.
I know.
That was the rave at the time. And then I think toward the end of us living there, at the end of us living there, I wanted to reach out to Dead Files, but it really wasn't not everyone in the family wanted to do it yet. We weren't all there yet. And then when we moved into this house and everything you heard about happened with my brother and everything, I was like, we have to do something. And I actually had a trap cam for hunting that I got years before. And I was like, I'm going to set it up in the house and just see what would happen. And I caught stuff on the trap camera, and that's actually part of what I submitted with my application, because I was like, you can clearly see stuff and it's clearly not dust. So what are we dealing with here? And then slowly watching things sort of progress, not drastically until the team came, but slowly progress over time. It became more and more evident that we need to find out what's here.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys have searched online for paranormal help. It's very hard to find someone that's reputable and that you can trust when you're starting from zero.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? We've been watching Dead Files forever. Let me submit an application, see what happens. And the rest is history.
What was on the tape that you submitted?
If I remember correctly, they were different orbs and shapes. And I believe it was my hallway, and I may have done our family room as well, but I know I know most of it was my hallway, and you could see stuff like that, and you could see a clear distinction between dust particles, bugs, because all of that, like a little flying mosquito or whatever. Like you can clearly see the difference, and that's why I was like, this isn't just dust. Because when you only see dust, you go, well, maybe, but it all looks the same. But when there's a distinct difference, that's when you go, okay, something's different here. I gotta look into this. And then that's what kind of clued me in on top of the activity.
Mm-hmm. What got me was the orbs that would come shooting out of the bed, my bed. Remember, and they would come out up from the bed. So, or like they would shoot in, and then you'd see someone move or like touch their face or right wherever the orb was. And that, thank you for saying that, because that's real kicker. And the orbs that would seem to always go through the one part of the wall in a bedroom. Like it was a freaking, I know, right? Like it was a freaking highway.
Where there used to be a door that we closed.
Yeah. Because we did a lot of work here. A lot of.
Mm-hmm. And you're still in the house, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And I should note too that at our old house, I used to literally keep a composition notebook where I would write down all of the events and experiences that we had. And then I found it in this house when I was unpacking. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I'd set it on a shelf. And then when we started having experiences here, I started adding to my little notebook to keep track of like what was going on, the voices, the things that we would see. So I have a whole notebook still of like all the experiences from the last 20 years of my life.
You should honestly try to like put that into cohesive stories and like try to publish it.
Write a book. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Do you might have to do that. Any of those experiences or spirits that you had from the previous house came with you? Were you having any of the same aspects when you went through it again, or do you think that they were just two completely separate groups?
It's a great question.
I would say I think it's possible that maybe some of the entities carried over in the sense that they were our protectors and our guides and beings that should have been around us. But I also think that, and something that I don't think the show really touched on enough, is somehow our family, even my sister-in-law, we all have really pronounced gifts that we didn't really understand or even know about until the team came, that we were probably a lot more open than we realized, but then also didn't know about the gifts. So I think a lot of that was also just different entities over at that house, but most of what happened at our old house was very positive, and a lot of it was you would get a very nurturing energy with it. An old woman sitting at the edge of the bed, touching your shoulder, hearing, a great grandmother's voice in your ear, talking about the sauce that you're making, those kind of things, where here it was much different as you saw on the show.
But I don't understand. There wasn't just this kind lady caressing your husband, Michelle?
Listen, I actually will admit that I reached out to Steve from Spirit Mechanics. I was like, hey, if the name is brought up and we're on Zoom with them, are we okay? And just like I've shielded and we have enough protections layered on the place. So we're good. We're good. But yeah, so that was so weird and just so creepy and just felt like violation.
Sure. Yeah.
Like in the shower with my husband. And I remember him literally saying to me, babe, did you just like stick your hand in the shower? Like, cause we have shower doors. He's like, were you messing with me? And I was like, no.
That feels like a creepy movie where you just see a hand start sliding in while the person is in the water, not paying attention.
I'm like, yeah, okay, hon. And then he'd be like, something just grabbed my ankle. And I was like, no, it's whatever, but it was always, something.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah, that was terrible. I did not like that.
When I saw the picture of her under my bed, I was like, are you That makes so much sense.
That was the creepiest photo too. Like, and when Steve was talking, or not Steve, but Amy was talking about how she would like touch your husband, I was like, ew, gross. No, we do not.
And
do
what's
that.
crazy is that their room always had like, you didn't want if the light was shut off and you were coming out of the room, like you wanted to run out because like it always felt like someone was chasing you or like someone was going to grab you. Lo and behold,
Forgot about that.
They were.
Like how when you're little and you turn the lights off at the bottom of the stairs and you run up because the monsters will 100% get you if you don't.
100. Yes, exactly.
We talked about that recently.
Yeah, I think just the last episode, I think we talked about that. In fact, that's on our bingo card.
A bingo card.
We have a bingo card.
I love it.
Watched
for like
enough of the episodes that you start picking up like
common
little
tropes
things.
and you know things that are in their like dream home and someone's gonna die and Steve
the marriage is gonna get split up. Was it the dog?
For not for nothing, it really is my dream property, and not for nothing, but what's so weird is how it all came to be that we're here, because I found the house. Like we decided we were going to look for a house, and okay, fine, whatever. So he's out playing poker with the guys, and I'm like, waiting up for him, and I'm just scrolling online all the different real estate, the houses, and I came across this property, and I was like, this house is kind of dilapidated, but it's on an acre, and we can fix it up. And so I showed it to him when he got home, and he was like, well, I'll drive by tomorrow, because we were going to take, because typically you downsize as your kids get older. We upsize because we consolidated everything.
My parents did too. Yeah.
Okay,
they
good.
moved into a big house, and I'm like, really? You couldn't have lived in this when my brother and I were growing up? We had to like touch each other as we passed in the hall. Ew.
We were in a 3-bedroom, 1 bath for 20 years.
How are you all still alive? Is what
the bigger question is, how do we all still love being around each other so much to all live on the same property?
It's because you were so stuck together. I understand that aspect.
Yeah. You were like, we've been this close for this long. Just keep it going.
Exactly. But it was weird with the house, to my mom's point, is like there were so many things, and it was seeming like we were going to get the house and property multiple times, and then something would happen where it just worked out that we moved here. And then when we moved in, there were just a lot of weird things about the property, whether it was things that we would find in the yard, or it was just all around. Like there's just been so many synchronicities and just weird things that have happened that we definitely were meant to be here, whether it was because the property needed cleansing and we were the ones to facilitate that. Like, who knows what it is? But it's one of those things that, like, when you're meant to be somewhere. And that's how we feel about this property.
Yeah. Like, I walked on it for the first time. Well, Michael walked on it the first time, and he was like, okay, you need to come and see it. And then I walked on, and I was like,
you're like, this is it.
This is our house. This is our home. Like, this is it. So, yeah.
No, I love that. And I know we talked about, because Dream Home was brought up in your episode, and it's brought up so many times that it just starts to become one of those, like, are they telling people to say this is their dream home because it is difficult to move? And maybe it is part of that, because yours felt more like
genuine.
Just part of the genuine spiel. But there's other ones that it's like, well, it's our
dream home.
It's our dream home.
Steve, did I say that right?
But then it ends, they go, yeah, we're going to move.
Yeah.
And then they never do.
Moving. And then they don't. And then they don't follow any of the directions.
We're still looking for a chaos magician.
We decided to stay, and there's no more windows on our homes because of all the spirits, but we're fine.
It's fine.
We're fine.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, watching those episodes and listening to the people, or listening to Amy and them tell them like what to do, and then when they're like, I don't know, and
I know.
Are you freaking crazy?
Why did you bring them in?
We always end up screaming at those. We always end up screaming because we're like,
did you bring them?
They're wasting time, and they're taking it away from other people who are genuinely interested in getting help. Brittany, we get really annoyed when that happens.
And there's definitely a few, like the Brittany episode, which was from last season. We recorded,
I don't know if you watched it.
We didn't release that episode. But there's been several that we've seen that are just like, this was a business and you just wanted to get your business on the show. You just wanted, and then you find out that they've had ghost hunters or ghost adventures or other paranormal groups, or they entice paranormal groups to come and do investigations at their property.
Yeah.
Gosh, heartbreaking.
It is.
It's too bad because there's plenty of people that really need help.
We get real mad.
Got passed over.
Well, what did we find out that there's like 15, Amy, you and I were looking at one that had like, one season had like 15,000 applications or something like that.
Wow.
And they picked 13.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we felt very
lucky and
honored that they were coming. Like it was, and to make it happen, I mean, you're talking 4 dogs at that time? 4 dogs, 3 dogs.
3 dogs, but one with a severe separation.
Oh, poor
I'm surprised mine's not next to me right now.
A parrot. A parrot, a cat, and the 5 of us all had. It sounds like a really funny joke, but we all had a parrot, 3 dogs, and 5 people walk into a hotel.
Yeah, and the receptionist says, "Why the long face?"
You know, and I'm like, we've got to get home by 7:30, 8 o'clock because the goats got to get fed.
It's feeding time. You'll have a riot on your hands.
We gotta go.
Just give the feed over to them so that they can just be like, hey, 7:30, you need to go and feed the critters.
And Amy, if you could just stop your walk for like 10 minutes and just feed just for 5, they'd
probably be happy to do that.
Just see what you feel out there, and while you're out there, just spread a little.
Just take this bag of food.
Just trail it behind. It's fine. Just ignore the goats.
Yeah.
Ted gets frisky, but it's okay. Just throw the food away. So when Amy was walking your house, how many nights did it take? Where did you guys, were you staying in a hotel, or what kind of how did that go?
We were there at the hotel just overnight. I forget what time we had to leave here.
It wasn't very, it really didn't take very long. And you can really tell Amy knows her stuff. Like for anyone who doubts it, she really genuinely knows what she's talking about. She really is gifted.
She is. It's every time, and we've been doing this now for 2 years, and we've been watching the show for even longer. And like every time she does it, I still am like, holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like she'll pull out the drawing, and then Steve pulls out the picture, and I'm like, it's almost like the artist drew from the picture. Like that's how similar some of them are. And
that's what my husband thinks is happening because he's
your husband's a silly goose. I'm sorry for the language, but
he's like, I can't believe you believe that. You really believe they don't talk to each other? Are you kidding me?
We call him skeptic, Greg.
We were here, and I truly believe they did not talk to each other.
You can tell him that. You can tell Gregory, I was there. He won't believe it. He'll say you're lying.
You know the certain ways that work really well. Duct tape.
We've tried it. I'm not allowed within their house anymore.
Oh my gosh.
That's not true. I would help you.
She would.
That's funny.
Except he makes my drinks, so
yeah, he's our bartender.
I'd cut him loose.
All right.
We cut him some slack.
See where it is.
Hey, you got to keep your enemies close.
That's right.
Closer.
Sir. Yeah.
Closer. Got it.
So, Christa, I know when you were on the show, you were talking about Reiki.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a master, a practitioner? What are the different levels, and how do you kind of train for that?
Yeah, so I'm technically a Reiki master, and I got trained in the original Gendai Reiki Ho, which is like the most traditional by the books, literally. You literally get manuals for each level. And I got into it because of just my history. I wanted to just dive into anything that I was called to that was related to like keeping optimum health. And we had gone to a Reiki session. I forgot who it was with, but we went, and I just like instantly fell in love. And I was like, I need to do this. I need to become a Reiki master. So I did that when I was 18 or 19. And if I'm being honest with you, I don't really practice with it as much. Lean more into just the concept of energy healing in general, more of the natural, what every person is capable of doing, just because it feels a little bit freer to me. Reiki not that it has restrictions or like puts you in a box, because it doesn't. I don't want anyone to take it that way, but there are like certain things that you should or supposed to do with it. And there's a little bit of like secretiveness with the really traditional one because they want to keep it pure, which I totally understand. But I just don't really resonate with that part of it as much. And for something like what we went through, it really wasn't going to do what we needed. And I knew that I wasn't going to be capable of doing what we needed because I was still learning and, you know, so I did not feel up to the challenge.
Yeah.
So how do you, I mean, do you just like Google, like, how do I be a Reiki? Or like, what does that insist? Like you mentioned, you know, manuals that you study. Are there like classes you go to, or do you just
actually it's like weekend workshops? And I happen to know through the hospital that I was treated at, that I volunteered at, and that my mom worked at, we knew a few people who worked there who were familiar with Reiki and had there was a place not far from where we are that every weekend they do Reiki circles where you can go and get either practice Reiki or receive Reiki. And I went to one of their circles first to kind of get a feel. And then I was like, the two ladies who ran it, I was like, I love that. Do you guys do classes? And she was like, yeah. So I did it relatively back to back with the classes, because really it's mostly about just getting the attunement, going through the manual, learning how things work. And it's really kind of a simple process. A lot of it is you have to put in the work to practice it and get familiar and you know, really hone in on the nuances of the practice. Like for me, whenever I do any sort of energy healing, I get hot. So you'll see me like take my socks off, take my sweater off, like put my hair up, because I will literally turn red and get hot. Some people get freezing cold and their hands are like ice cold to the touch. So it's tuning into that and really honing in on like what your style is, what kind of language do you want to use with it, because there's certain things that you can say to really like boost up the, you know, energy connection. But it's really more about you just being a catalyst for universal energy versus you doing the healing itself per se. Where just energy healing that like we're all capable of is more of a little bit more of us doing it and using some of our innate abilities with it. Where Reiki is very much just like I'm open to allowing that universal energy to flow through me. So it's a little bit different, but very similar also.
All right. So I'm going to add in that what Chris is not saying is that when she was younger, teenager, we would go to like a crystal shop. And this is when I was working in the hospital and I'd gotten, you know, into some of, you know, looking at some of that. I was dabbling. Sure. And we went to this one where this was a man. I think he was a medium. And we sat in the second row and he had to stop what he was saying. And he was going through this whole story about himself and he was reading people. And he had to stop in the middle of reading someone else and said, I am so sorry, but your light is blinding me, about Christa.
Oh,
so that happened. And then we would go to the Reiki circles and they would, you know, we didn't know anything about Reiki. It was in very beginning. And their hands, you know, you put your hands and they're like, we couldn't even get near. Like Christa, like their hands had to be like out here. Like she's just so spiritually and divinely large.
Yeah. I had a large walked up to me and it was just some random place and she walked up to me, and this is actually a detriment. So if you are a healer, don't do this to people because it's taken a lot of work to work through and I'm still working on it. She walked up to me and was like, your heart is way too open. You need to close that down a bit because from here, I can tell already that you're way too open and that's going to be harmful for you. So you need to learn to shut that down.
That's aggressive.
I was like 13 or 14. So I had no idea what any of that meant.
Yeah.
Don't do that. That sounds terrible.
That's terrible advice.
Yeah. Hi, little girl and stranger I've never met before.
Right.
BT
Shut
dubs.
your heart down.
Shut it down. Okay?
Yeah.
Shut it down.
That's awful.
You're here. I'm going to need you here.
Literally, though. Yeah. I was like, I'm so taken aback when she said that to me. But yeah, I mean, that was, and so that, you know, looking back, it's like, oh, now I get it why all these other things have happened. from that.
But maybe approach a child a little differently.
Yeah. Maybe don't say that.
Yeah. Make sure they're ready for that kind of information.
Right.
Yeah. That's heavy.
So you mentioned all your various abilities. What exactly are your, like Michelle, I guess we could start with you. Whatever you want to share. Again, I forgot to say that in the beginning. Whatever you guys want to share. If you don't want to share something, let us know. It's fine.
Yeah. So I never realized that what I have or what I do was an ability. I never thought of it as a gift. I just thought of it as who I am. One, I've always been able to take this isn't a PG show, right? I've been able to take,
you can say whatever you want.
I've been able to take really shitty situations and turn them around and make them into something good, or see the good in them, or be able to then advocate for others in the same situation or going through the same situation. So hence alchemy, makes sense, right? And so the other thing is just being really intuitive. And what I've realized is I can talk to somebody and I can see them in their pure form with all the shit that's on top of them, the limiting beliefs and the stories they tell themselves. Like I can truly get to the core and talk them through making decisions from that place, not their fear-based place. And so I've really been able to tap into that. And I've been working with the team with Steve and the Spear Mechanics. I'm an alchemy apprentice under Steve. I have, dived into metaphysics and just really learning about how to figure this stuff out and doing the energy work, not realizing Christa's the Reiki master, but I can do some pretty cool stuff with energy that I never thought I could do, but then realized that I can do. I can walk into a room, and if I'm in a not chaotic mood, or a chaotic space, I can calm things, but I can also walk in and be the tornado and be the chaos. It just depends on what's needed. But it's been, even for me talking about it, I don't talk about it a lot. So it's, it's kind of my debutante party here, just
for sure.
coming out a little, and talking about it, just because I have been doing a lot of work for like the last year and a half, 2 years with Steve. And we would not have met Steve if it hadn't been for this property, if it had not been for Dead Files, if it had not been for the creepy woman under the bed.
Yeah.
So I have
are
to
you
be
guys,
thankful.
oh, I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead.
Are you guys then like still in contact with Steve and Amy?
Not Steve and
not
Amy.
A different Steve.
Steve from,
Spirit
Steve.
Mechanics.
Oh, okay.
Spirit Mechanics.
Got it.
Who, by the way, we are interviewing next week. Next Monday.
You guys are going to love.
I'm
can't
so
wait.
excited.
I don't even know who all is going to be there, but
Doesn't
but
matter.
I'm
Unbelievable.
really excited.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So Steve Smith and I have the same birthday too. So I joke with him and I tell him I'm his older sister, but it really feels like I'm his little sister. But I tell him that we're like birthday twins.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
When's your birthday?
April 3rd. Wednesday.
Oh, happy belated birthday.
Happy birthday, belated birthday.
Same as my aunt.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, really?
Oh, that's nice.
Lots of fiery people are born on April 3rd.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Aries, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm Aries and Krista is Libra, which is why this
So are the
eclipse-
three of us.
We're all
Libras unite.
Actually, I get to also claim Scorpio because I'm a cusp.
Okay.
21st.
Libra. Full Libra.
I'm a Scorpio Mars, which I read is like Scorpio Sun times 10 million. So yeah, that's a fun article to read. But to answer your question, also on my end of gifts, well, I'll mention my dad's first. He is very much a channeler and intuitive knower. So he'll literally channel guides and give you the craziest information that comes through a few weeks later, or gives you information of stuff that you need to know. Yeah, it's really about, he is still kind of refining that ability, but that's his. My brother is,
Your dad sounds like my dad a little bit.
yeah.
Amy and my stories I haven't told you.
Oh, Oh, snap.
Well, and before you go into your brother, don't forget, and my husband can also, like, if you have a pain in your shoulder, he has this like intuitive sense where he can see colors as he's, kind of,
he'll
sensing.
literally press the spot and it'll pop.
Yeah, and he'll be able to follow the line, the orange or the red line down to where it actually is the root of the problem, and then he'll like push on it or do something, and then everything will feel better. And you're like, how the hell did you know how to do that? And he's like, I have no idea.
Wow.
Just does.
It's really incredible.
Sometimes.
Yes. Go ahead.
My dad doesn't do that part, but the story part is another.
My brother is a very, very strong empath, and he's still developing that as well. But he really, empath kind of gets thrown around a lot, but he truly like is the epitome of what an empath is. It can be very taxing, so it takes a lot of like grounding and everything that goes along with that. Which luckily my sister-in-law is an incredible grounding rod. She is unbelievable in that sense. And then for me, I also have the intuitive knowing. I'll get a lot of downloads. I also have premonition dreams. I can interpret dreams, which goes along with tarot and that intuitive knowing. Like I'll just get information and download, and then it'll be spot on exactly what it is. I can feel energy, and also to go along with like what the people in the past have said to me unasked for. I definitely I need to work on this, and I am working on it, but I tend to be a sponge. So like, for example, I've gone to a New Year energy clearing ceremony, and I soaked up everybody's stuff that they were releasing and had to leave immediately. So in a way, that's helpful for some people, but not so much for me. But I also can project energy. In the past, it's been entirely unintentional, to the point of like, when you walk in a store and all of a sudden like everyone moves in a different direction as you, kind of thing. And there's a lot more that uncovers kind of like every day. There's definitely more that's untapped. My dad likes to say that when I'm happy, the sun shines, and when I'm sad, it rains, kind of thing.
Oh.
So that's going to be interesting to develop and really figure out what that means.
And if she gets angry, the internet goes down, and lights flash, and
I have a little bit of PK stuff going on.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And Michael Anthony also, he picks up on things too, which is what happened when he was younger that we weren't aware of, as far as the voices, the talking. And it wasn't, a mental thing. It was people talking to him, things happening around him, and just not understanding, what that was or what that meant. I remember when he said, there's this little boy and he comes to play with me at night and he stands in my corner, and I was like, what? And I was like, okay, well, I'm sure he's a very nice ghost like Casper. Yeah, I didn't know back then. Just like the little old lady that sat on Krista's bed and covered her with a blanket. I was like, that must have been my yaya, my great grandmother. So I didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. But you know what? I think the rule of thumb here is, and what everyone that's listening should always remember, is if your kids are saying things like that, like, don't take them to a therapist or anything. Just maybe just do some investigation.
Ask questions. But also questions. Don't always assume it's bad either. A lot of times people, especially when it comes to paranormal, instantly go, oh, it's something bad. But living in our other house for 20 years, none of us really ever felt threatened. We got scared a few times because, something unexpected was happening. But we would see beautiful light silhouettes of someone standing in a corner. You'd hear someone's voice, and it is very possible that things can just be working out for you and guide.
Oh God.
And,
I remember the guy in the overalls that walked past our window at the old house, and we were all like, what the hell was that? Like, I didn't even remember that until just now. But yeah, I remember that. That was it was like, I'm aging myself, but Captain Kangaroo used to have Mr. Blue Jeans or Green Jeans.
Mr. Green Jeans.
And I swear I think I did too. And that's what it reminded us of. Like, it was, that was like Mr. Green Jeans. Like, interesting.
Did you ever figure out who it was?
No, there was nobody there. There was nobody out there.
But you never
that's
figured out
just
like
stuff-
what his spirit was or who he was in life?
No,
or-
because we didn't
didn't
investigate
know
back
then.
then.
Mhm.
Yeah, we didn't know we were watching Zach at that time. So
Mm-hmm.
we thought we knew a lot. We would listen. we would,
We've all fallen in that trap.
We've all
Yeah.
been there.
you know. Somehow, I do know, like at this house, I remember there were many times where we would hear the creaks and the knocks, and we would test it. We'd be, oh, if you're in there, knock once, and the freaking thing would knock, and we're like, oh shit, and it's like, oh, okay, don't be like that, please, God, don't be like Zach. Don't.
And then you're like, shit, we don't know what to do now. This is as far as we got in Ghost Adventures.
Like, okay, cool. If you're benevolent, knock once.
Okay. And don't ever invite anything in. Don't ever ask them to show
my
you
God.
anything or do anything to do or take it from somebody else. Don't do that.
And if you find anything buried on the property, for the
Leave
love
it.
of all things,
Cover it up.
Not open it because
Sold
you're
nothing.
curious at what is underneath the sealed honey.
Is that a
Is that
is there
a personal?
story?
Yeah, I feel like that's
Yes, that in the
that's a
personal
little too
anecdote.
specific to be just a
We
plain
will
warning.
just say that someone on the property, not on this show, happened to find a bottle of
Was it
something
Michael Anthony?
and opened it because he was very curious.
We didn't, we don't always
Again,
know
we
better
didn't
until
know.
we know better.
Right.
And then
then-
Christa did a lot of research and found what to say. And he remembered where he dug it up.
Well, no, the team helped us with that when they came.
Well, yeah, we thought we had taken care of it. And then we came and we're like, yeah, you didn't do it completely.
That's
All
the
the
thing.
way.
If you don't know what you're doing and you try, and I mean, I don't know from personal, but from watching shows and talking to people,
Yeah.
you kind of got to know what you're doing, or it could make things
Brittany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just, it's not even, sometimes, yes, you can make it a lot worse. And then other times, your intention's in the right place. So it's like you put a Band-Aid on it, but the Band-Aid gets a lot of water damage and then loses some of its stickiness. And now the Band-Aid's ready to come off. And then when the Band-Aid comes off, it's not happy.
At least it went with water damage on the Band-Aid. And
Yeah.
Well, I just shower and wear it down.
I just think more of my mom's a nurse, so I'm in the more of the like, okay, so you're using a Band-Aid or over an artery and it's just not working.
No, you're hemorrhaging out. Yeah. It's not good.
There's pus everywhere. I just
That was a totally different.
gross.
it's
different
the
avenue.
same area.
Yeah, not to go with pus. I would much rather talk about blood.
Me
Same.
too.
I want to talk about the wet water Band-Aid. You guys all took it to the blood. I was like, Christa, that's a perfect analogy. We can stop right there. And then Amy's like, okay, but like my mom's a nurse and I think of blood.
Well, and so I don't know if you two listened to
I
the
was
episode that
following
we
your
had out.
lead.
And I am kind of a logic-minded person. I believe because I've had my own experiences, but I also like to try and figure out, okay, what happened here to what happened here. My background's in science, right? So my background's biology. So, and I was telling Christa, I taught middle schoolers. So it's always
The meanest people on earth.
which you can't always, you have to they tell you one thing, but you have to investigate to find out if that was really what was there. So that teaches you a whole nother set, but I used to teach. So I got out of there. Yeah.
Smart.
And then there's me. I'll follow everybody off a cliff because they tell me there's candy at the bottom. And I'll be like, oh my
I
God,
just call her
candy?
Thelma.
I like candy.
Andy, that's good.
That's me. Yeah.
And I'm in the middle. So
Yeah.
I want
Amy's
to believe
in the
everything.
middle. Yeah. Amy's
but
like, there might be candy.
I'm an open-minded skeptic.
But if
I don't-
if there's a van with puppies in it, I mean, you
You
got me.
two are
Forget it.
both
I
gone.
Forget it.
Rude.
I'm
You
Me
both
too.
gone.
I'm right there with you.
Don't worry, they'll drop me off very shortly after. 'cause
Puppies
I
and
won't shut up.
candy. Yeah, puppies and candy will do.
Okay. Then they might get me. Like if I can hold puppies and eat candy.
That does sound pretty nice.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's
throw
like the
some wine
whole-
in there too.
It's how the whole Scooby gang
Yes.
gets kidnapped.
Yes, let's definitely throw some wine in there.
Well, I mean, if you get the right red wine, it can bring out the chocolate flavor and then they just go well together.
Champagne.
Yeah.
Girl, we're going with champagne taste.
Oh, I can do that too.
You do champagne.
Anyway,
We'll
We
do
won't go there.
mimosas because then we get orange juice and it's healthy because orange
love
juice
that.
is a fruit.
Then it's a healthy drink.
Yeah.
But you know the proper amount of orange juice in a mimosa.
It's like to waft it over it.
Yep. Just say orange juice.
Yeah, because then your stomach gets acidic and it's not good.
Yeah.
We are so good at taking one thing and just wrapping.
So I'm like, I know you guys have questions.
Oh, but see, this is how it just, there's questions and then there's just like flow. And
I want to remind everybody.
Show.
I want to remind everybody that this conversation here that we just finished started with Band-Aids and ended with puppies, candy, and wine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
With the premise of being kidnapped, it sounds like.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Sorry, I
we
forgot
used to
the
play
most
this game.
important part.
We used to play this
Krista.
game on Wikipedia when we were younger, and you would take one thing and you would say like Clara Barton, and you have to try and connect Clara Barton to the
Kevin
Viking
Bacon.
raids in the 1800s.
I was going to say this.
And so you'd have to click through things. How many clicks in Wikipedia pages till you got to those two connections?
6 degrees
That
of
sounds
Vikings
fun.
raids.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
It was entertaining, and you would be surprised at how few clicks some things
Mhm.
got. So if you ever need something to entertain yourselves, just pick 2 random things and be like, go see how many clicks it takes you.
Interesting.
Could do that.
Okay.
Hmm.
So one question I thought of is that we ask most people that are on the show is, from the time that you sent in your request to the Dead Files, how long was it before they were at your house recording?
I don't even know if I remember that, but I don't think it was very long.
Okay.
I
'Cause sometimes
feel like
it's
I remember
2
them
years.
No, it was
Mhm.
not. It was pretty quick. And then even from the time the Dead File crew left to the Spirit Mechanic crew getting here, it was just a matter of coordinating travel plans. Like it all happened
Nice.
very
That's
quickly.
awesome.
Good.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
really great.
Yeah, I think you were lucky that you got Spirit Mechanics, because I know that Amy has referred them before and they, didn't make it in time or the family gave up or something because they were so busy.
Yeah.
So it's lucky that you got to have them.
Yeah, they're amazing. Like they say, they don't get clients, they get family. Like they make you family. And
That's really sweet.
I mean, the aftercare still continues. He still checks in and he'll message me out of the blue, y'all good? Or Steve, y'all good? And and I'm like, how did you know? How did you know things were a little unsettled? There was a disturbance in the force.
Mhm.
And they just, the aftercare, the before care, I mean, because there was a little bit of a gap before they could get here. And so they spent so much time with us on the phone, just really understanding what it was that was going on, what we needed, getting to know us.
What stuff we could put in place to help before they could get there, which was
nice.
crucial.
Yeah.
Yes, there were some protections we absolutely had to put in Krista's room. There were some things that we had to put in our bedroom.
Mhm.
And when they came, they were ready to work.
Nice.
They
That's
brought
awesome.
what they needed.
Yeah.
And I think they told us to accumulate a couple little things, but it wasn't much. I think we have something.
So since the kind of initial work with them, what's the activity level been like in your house?
I'll put it this way. The activity that is here has a completely different energetic resonance. At complete opposite end of the spectrum. Everything that is here is light and of white light and had pure intention. And we have made some friends with things that are here to
Good.
also enhance the protection of the property as well, because the property itself is also a beacon to track things in. So not only do we have to continuously just kind of we've done cleanse regularly, freshen things up, but we have some friends that also keep an eye out for us.
Oh,
That's so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we get to do the same, not to Spirit Mechanics. Cause I'm like, Steve, I think I have a referral for you. It's like, yeah. But for the little things, like if somebody is feeling off because they went to the Renaissance Festival or before they go to the Renaissance Festival.
They bought something while they were
and they bought something there, or they bought something from an antique store, or they, just like crazy stuff that people will buy and think is really cool. And you're like, no.
Like a mirror?
Yes.
I don't think anyone around us has done that.
Our freaking mirrors were full. That was one of the things that they had to do. Oh my God.
And the mirror placement too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you have two mirrors facing each other?
In one of the rooms we did.
Yeah,
I can't
Amy
remember
had
which
that.
one.
I still do. It's in my bathroom. They're on the wall. They're part of the wall. It's like that when we moved in. And a friend of ours who's a medium, she saw...
Who listens to the show.
We were on a happy hour. She's one of our patrons. And we were on a Zoom happy hour. And she's like, I don't mean to freak you out, Amy, but behind you, there's steady stream of people walking out of your bathroom.
And I'd be like, fail for not freaking me out. Like, sorry.
My husband just came down the stairs. Was it him? She's like, no, sorry.
No.
That's all. No. I'd be like, thanks, Zoe, but no, thank you. Please.
So now I have to smudge the mirrors, the corners of the mirrors, and say only good people or only good spirits are welcome here. All bad people must leave. And so I do that every 2 weeks. I do that.
Have you done a Zoom with her since that? Does she know if it's improved?
After I did all the cleaning, she had me clean like all the mirrors first and then do the
Windex
smudging thing with Windex. Then all the smudging and open the window and all that. And then she asked me to take a picture of it afterwards and show it to her. And I just did a video instead and I sent it to her and she's like, it looks great. Everything looks great.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I just want to make a note for any of your very aware viewers. My brother and sister-in-law did just walk by this window. That entity. So for anyone that's looking closely, there really were two people that just walked by.
I didn't even notice.
Great. That's so funny. I remember, so similar to your story, Amy, when the one person that contacted us from Spirit Mechanics the first time, Holly, I was in my office, which is a shed that's been built out like a she shed.
She shed?
Yeah, she shed. And she like goes, excuse me. And she starts yelling and like, you need to back off and you need to, like, she went off and I was like, shut up, like, be quiet. Yeah, shut up, be quiet. I'm not talking to you. And I was
Into
like,
your she shed?
I was like,
talking to my dogs on a normal basis.
Hell? And she was like, oh no, there's stuff around you and I needed to put them in their place. And I was like, okay, all right, sure. When, how soon can you guys get here?
She wasn't even there.
No, we were on Zoom. And that's the thing. The Spirit Mechanics, they did so much work prior to getting here that they knew exactly what to expect when they got here. I mean, they had some surprises, but they had said, there's something about a brick wall, like a stone wall. And we're like, a stone wall? There's no stone wall. What are you talking about? When they got here, it was a wall of stones that bordered, a part of the property in the back. And that's where some of the work needed to be take place.
There was also a lot more here than even the show was able to cover. I mean, because Amy's here, for a brief amount of time, but the team being able to not only talk to us and be able to tune into the property, what was going on, but really spending the time, because they were here for a few days as well. But all of the time that they were able to spend here, they were really able to tune in to what exactly was happening and refine some of the findings. So like really get clear on what it was. Because the other thing about the paranormal is it can be very tricksy and, present itself a certain way. And you don't necessarily know any different until you really dive in, grab it by the root, and then you realize, oh, it's that times 10. So it was even worse than we even knew, which is why they were like, no, you need to, the first conversation we had, they had us do stuff like immediately because it was even worse than we anticipated.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a question that I was going to ask, is if there was things that came through in the reveal that maybe didn't match the show quite well or were talked about more in the reveal than were ever put in the show. So we've had, for example, one of our clients that we talked with, they, in the reveal, were trying to make a spirit of an old woman seem like a really bad person. And they're like, yeah, that wasn't her. There was another ghost, but or another spirit. They just didn't talk about that other person. And so they tried to connect two pieces that didn't quite fit, which we all felt. And that spirit that they were talking about and trying to make her look like she was the bad guy, her living children were quite upset about the episode.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh gosh, that's rough. I don't think there was any discrepancy so much as like what was in their room was more of a shapeshifter. And so it probably just showed itself how it wanted to be seen. But the reality of it was that it was actually affecting all of us very negatively and had the ability to shift and shape itself into what would be appealing to each of us. So that's kind of, but everything else.
Well, it was also a succubus. I mean, let's just.
Well, I wasn't going to throw that word around, but yes, I mean,
I thought
forget about it.
Which that fit the profile that they gave, though. When you think about, the shower and
she got to go. I'm just saying, but
so it was really more a matter of like,
she gotta go.
Bitch, get out. That's my band.
That bitch who's got all this. And what she was trying to do, I mean, in your room. The one that they didn't talk about a lot, that there was a lot of activity because Michael would go out to a shop or, have to check the water filter system or the sprinklers. Yes, my husband, Michael. Michael versus Michael Anthony. Whole story, but a different episode. So he would go in the back and he would feel like there was someone coming up on him, like, trying to.
Oh, yeah, they really didn't.
And they talked about it and they talked to Michael about it back there. And I don't even know if some of that was in the episode, but not the extent of that conversation. But it was definitely whatever they, the guy that committed suicide, that we looked into it too. And we found it, it did happen. And I believe we found a picture or something.
We found something. Yeah.
Yeah. And we were like, oh, yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah. And Amy, you and I tried to look that one up.
Because so Dade and Broward County are very close together. You can drive maybe 3 miles and you're in Dade County. So
nice.
I think when I was watching the episode, I was like, wait, you guys are looking in the wrong place. Because he lived in Dade County, but the drive is not far. So if he wanted to get away, coming out, and back then where we live was a bunch of cow pastures and you couldn't drive out this far on certain roads when I was a kid, which is about when that happened. So, so it was out there. It was
the thing too, is again, our property is sort of like a beacon and then all of being here amplified it. So if there's anything roaming, it's going to try to find its way here.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's easy when it's like, wait a minute, I want to go hang out with these people.
Yeah.
They can see me.
Which is why we have the protections up that we do. And yeah.
And the team is sort of, while they were here, they sort of trained us all a little bit on protecting ourselves and how to use our powers, what to look into to grow them. And, and they're really accessible for questions, which is nice. So as things come up for me or any of us, we can reach out to them and say, hey, could you take a look at this? Or this is what I'm sensing. Am I on the money? Or, where does that fall? And then they'll kind of give me some feedback. So that's nice too.
That's awesome that it's really cool. Such a continuing relationship. It's not just transactional. Like, okay, we're here. This is what you do. Okay, bye now. That's really nice.
And I'm sure it has to do with, both parties. So I'm sure you could have it be relatively transactional where they come in, do their thing. And then you're like, I don't want to dive into anything going on with me. I'm done. We're good. We're just going to live our life. But because all of us have that interest in it as well, I think that's helped facilitate that ongoing relationship.
I'm a firm believer about those connection points that you have with somebody. Like sometimes you meet somebody and you feel like you've known them for forever, or you're just like, oh, I can talk to you about stuff. And you're not going to, well, maybe you'll judge me later, but you're not going to judge me in the moment kind of thing.
I judge you the way everybody should behind your back.
Exactly. But I mean, Megan and I, our friendship, we met going to a meetup for another podcast or fans for another podcast. We met at a cidery in Minneapolis here. And that was just over 4 years ago. It was right before the pandemic hit. Mm-hmm. But it was kind of one of those, like, the conversations that we had just right off the bat was just as random as tonight. But it was kind of one of those that, like, there was just that connection.
Nothing's changed in 4 years.
Nothing's changed.
We still start out at Band-Aids and end up at puppies and vans. I mean,
that's what makes a good show.
I do want to go back to one thing just because I'm the protector. I feel like I'm always the protector and nurturer. But as far as spirit mechanics and transactional, they will come and they will help you. They don't ask for anything other than travel because they just need help to get there.
That's wonderful.
And that's how real they are. And if you want to donate, then that money gets put aside for the next family that can't pay for their travel,
that's awesome.
That they still need to help. And that's when you know that you have real people. Like
I was just going to say, that's how you know that they're genuine. They're not trying to scam you. They're not trying to make money off
Greg
of you.
to put that in his pipe.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, Greg. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
I'll tell him.
And I think that that's how real people, that's how real teams function, I would hope. Go ahead, Kirsten. Sorry.
I was just going to say, they also have, they have a whole website where they sell different tarot cards and crystals, and they have classes and stuff. So if anyone is interested in supporting them and they don't have a house that's haunted that they need to look into, they
First of all, go buy one. And then
go buy a house.
You don't have to think out haunted houses.
The realtor, is this haunted?
Play with the Ouija board.
Trying to make new friends.
Yes, you don't have to do that.
Say that it's haunted.
Just play with the Ouija board willy-nilly. Just
don't.
Your $12.99 demons.
Listen.
I know. I'm teasing everybody.
Yeah,
hopefully,
that's a joke, you guys.
Yeah.
Do not condone playing with the no-no
We do
board.
not endorse Ouija boards in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
they're bad.
But even on there, they have Thursday Lives, and you can go on there and they'll answer questions. If you think you have a problem in your house, they'll answer, you ask them, you tell them the story, and they'll say, like, we'll contact you tomorrow. Or try this, or, but it's always the little things, but,
I see a 3-headed dog in my living room. Like, what do I do?
Don't try to sage it because that ain't gonna work. It's just gonna tick it off. Okay.
Yeah, that was the greatest thing they ever done to us. It was like, well, we have sage, and Steve was like, yeah, sage isn't gonna do much for this. You need to get black salt. You need to get sweetgrass. You need to get Palo Santo ASAP.
They're
and
like,
some other things that we'll talk about later.
They're like, you're gonna send sage. You're like, sage won't just season your chicken with it. It's
basically, they're like, that's what we have aggravated. Yeah. They're like an allergic reaction for it. It's just we're pissed off.
They're like, take it and make us the chicken dinner with some stuffing. And then when we get there, we'll talk about what you need to do because it's not sage. It's not
sage. Honestly, though, yeah. And it's so crazy because that's what most people think is the first line of defense. And the amount of conversations I've had, which was like, well, I'll get some sage. And I'm like, no. Let me send you some Palo Santo. Let me hook you up with some holy water, some grass, some black water.
I got a connection. I'm going to hook you up with holy water. Don't tell anybody where you got it from. Not on the up and up, but I'm going to get you.
I was just going to pan over to my little area over here where I have all my smudging herbs.
I was going to say the time we went to the Greek church and asked for holy water, and the priest was like, oh, holy water. What do you need that for? We were like,
you're like, demons.
Do you really
I was like,
know?
I just need why do you have to know everything? Like, I'm not coming for confession. I just
if you just look over there really quick, Krista, go get it.
I have a question about what's going on the walls. Krista, can you just go into what is this? Krista, go now. Can you just go?
Why are you still standing here?
There's a bucket. You don't know that people were so crazy and held the holy water so dear. I mean,
It's
Like,
just
they're like, here, fill out these 3 forms. I'm going to need 2 forms of ID and a blood sample to get this holy water.
Swear
We'll
that's
meet a
what it
lien
felt
on your
like.
house.
Hi, Louie.
I was gonna
Oh,
say
hi, Max.
I thought I heard puppies, and do you still
And
have a bird?
I hear a bird.
Yeah, my
He's
parents
not
outside. He usually spends the night in the she shed, but
What kind of bird is it? Because I'm really scared of birds.
it's a mealy
puppers.
parrot, a mealy Amazon parrot. So he's bright green and his name is Booger and he is hilarious but so annoying and I love him so dearly, but my goodness is he not shut up.
Yeah.
Their beaks are so sharp.
Yeah, I have a scar on my hand, but it's my fault, not his.
Right, but like they could take my finger
But that
off.
could be said about the goats too. Like the knucklehead sprained my ankle a year and a half ago. But again, my fault, not his. It's an
Okay,
animal. I
but
gotta
goats don't have a pointy beak.
They have
No,
a
but they
pointy
can
horn,
have
though.
horns.
They have horns.
And
Yeah,
even
his
if they've
horn
been
got
burned
caught
off, they
on
still
my
have...
foot and literally like he body slammed me.
So you're saying goats are horny is what I'm hearing.
But yes,
Oh,
yes, that's
Krista,
how we
my-
have 9 in a
Sorry,
year.
I'm
My
sorry,
sister's
Krista. I'm
goats,
sorry.
Like one of
It's
them,
too far.
Arnie, likes to get up on his back when he gets really excited. He goes up on his
Yeah.
back feet, and then he's like, and he'll do the head toss towards you, and you're just like, knock it off. You're almost 300 pounds. Do not come at me like this.
Yeah, we had to neuter Knucklehead because
Mhm.
I'm only 4'10", and even though they're stork goats, they're still large. So he knocked me over one day, and I was like, "I'm happening."
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
There's a
me,
reason why
sir.
the billy goats are quite mean.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll just stay inside with my cats.
And
Wise choice. Wise
and just
choice.
because I wanna have some fun. So like, yeah, let's play that carnival game. Like, how old do you think Krista is?
Oh.
I love
Well,
this.
there
No,
was some jokes about it on the web.
We did, yeah.
Oh my God, I was listening to that today and I'm like, oh my God, I hope Krista doesn't get offended because I'm like, she looks 12, Steve.
I
Just
know. They're like, Steve
Yeah.
didn't even give the hanky to the 10-year-old.
I know. I was
No,
very
this-
upset for you that he did not give you a hanky.
So
when
was I,
was
to be
very
honest.
mad.
Yeah.
I was
Honestly,
like,
no, but
Steven?
this is what I'm talking about with my energy though. He probably felt my energy of like, I very much, when I'm upset, I'm very much like, don't
Don't
bother
talk to me.
me
Oh.
right now. Just let me like get it out. So it very well is probably
mad
that
at
he
him.
got that from me and was like, yeah, I'm not gonna.
He
Good
did
thing.
redeem himself in the reveal when he gave you the
well,
hanky.
after he threw her under the bus. And
Oh
was
God,
like,
I was so mad at him too.
Which part?
When
oh,
he's like,
he was
well,
like, well, this is
Krista's a
Krista, and
Reiki,
she
but
does
this is way over her head. And I'm like, Steven, don't be a
like
dick.
there was a better way
Yeah.
that you could have said that.
Oh, wait,
but-
what's so funny is Krista said the same thing, so she probably had said that to him, and that's
Yeah,
how
it
he
very well could
redeemed
have
it.
been.
I'm like,
Yeah, 'cause- and
Steven,
it's really hard to like. It's really hard to treat yourself. Like
Yeah.
I am terrible at reading tarot for myself because I get in my head about it.
Mhm.
I would not have been able to do anything here.
I was like, Steven, she's 12. Be nice to her. Just kidding,
Okay.
Krista. I'm just
Go
kidding.
ahead.
I know.
Go ahead.
But,
Yes.
okay, so I'm
Okay.
going with so you said you started Reiki when you were 18 or 19. When you were on the show
Yeah.
was in 2019. And
I'm
so
going to say 25.
I'm going to say like 29.
I say 25. Amy?
I was going to say like 25. So I'll just go 24 because I can't.
Who's
say the same
closest
as-
without going over?
Amy without the L is closest. Oh wait, without going over. Well, I'm 28, but I'll be 29 in October.
Okay, but
no.
she did say, so I win. So I win.
We didn't say it was Price is Right rules, Megan, until
I
after
did.
we guessed.
I win.
You don't get to say it in
$1
your head and make it be
$1 billion.
real.
Honestly, I am just touched that you all said over 20 because when I was like 18, someone at CBS once was like, "Oh, are you having fun in middle school?" And I was like, "Ma'am, I'm an adult."
Krista, I got in as a high school student until I was about 30.
Yeah,
into high school sports as a high school student into high school sports. And I
So
was
you
like,
could have gone in that Never Been Kissed movie and been
Yeah.
believable as a high schooler.
but Krista, I do have to ask you, do you ever get this compliment? Because this is one of the weirdest, strangest compliments. And I love it, but I got it from like the cheese person at the grocery store who was giving out cheese samples. She told me I have lovely skin. And I have
Yeah.
so many people who compliment
did
my
say
skin
that.
all the time.
Your skin is so beautiful.
I did say,
Mhm.
girl, what's your skincare routine? 'Cause
Yep, I've
you're
gotten that.
flawless.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're flawless.
Yeah.
Because I've gotten that one quite a bit. And I'm like, I wash my face. I don't.
Maybe she's born with it.
I didn't wear a ton of makeup when I was
My
younger.
favorite is when I'm at work and people are like, "Oh my god, your hair looks so good," and I'm like, "Thanks, I washed it." Yeah, I took a shower.
You're welcome.
Thanks for noticing.
I'm like, yeah.
Oh, I just remembered too. You guys on the episode review. Speaking of meat.
We're just going to keep talking about you, Christa.
My favorite topic, me.
Really not, though. I do have to say that. No, but you guys were curious about my diagnosis, and you guys going back and forth about what it was. And I was, I got to remember to talk about it because I'm sure the viewers probably also were confused.
She's our new AP and yelling at us.
So neuro makes it very confusing. It was non-brain related at all. It was, I know.
I mean, yay for you. I don't, yay for you.
Can I tell you, they once printed it in a pamphlet for a children's hospital that it was a neuro cancer. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, you didn't do your basic research. But anyway, I had a tumor on my adrenal gland. Good call, Amy. And then it spread into my right leg, or across my abdomen into my right leg. And it was very aggressive, 3% chance of survival.
Yikes. Well, we are so glad
website.
that you did survive.
Yes.
We are so
Thank
glad.
You.
Now we're best friends. You don't know that, but we are.
No, I was very impressed with the research that Amy without an L did because
AP.
Sorry, AP, and the fact that and the story that you shared about your friend, and so it was very touching. So
thank you. Yeah, that going back to that logic side, like I have to be able to like. I'm like, I know about this, and it's not connected the way people think it's connected, and so. Yeah, because neural, definitely gives you that brain or nervous system tie-in. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, who are the blondies behind you, Michelle?
Okay, so this is Louis. He's the This is Louis. He's the newest.
I was gonna say, is he under 2?
He's a year old.
Just turned 1.
Yes.
What a good boy.
And he's scared of everything.
Oh.
Yes, he is. So and he was so scared of balloons for my birthday that he fell in the pool, and it was very.
Oh, poor baby.
He and Wesley could be best friends, but Wesley just barks at everything.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. He gets
Louis just runs for cover.
Yeah,
and then, same. Well, I walk fastly. I don't run, but I waddle.
I like that word, fastly. And then Max is 8 years old. He's a golden retriever that is 100 pounds.
Oh my God!
Louis' brother. So we half brother. So we can only imagine how big he's going to get. And not only did Steve from Dead Files fall in love with him, but Keith from Spirit Mechanics, fell in love with him. And I think they had communications because he told Keith, like, I like to be called the good boy. And he didn't tell him that we call him a good boy.
He is a good boy.
He actually, might I add, he didn't just think he likes to be called a good boy. He said he incessantly just kept saying, I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy.
So he has golden retriever energy is what you're saying.
Yeah.
He is done from up.
And so Keith has since sent him a blanket because he had a friend that was a blanket and the dog, not Keith.
Well, Keith might too. You don't know his life. We're not judging.
True. No judgment.
And Max he would share his blanket, but his blanket was his girlfriend. And so it was kind of weird because he'd be like, here. And it would be like,
and you'd be like,
I don't want that.
Yeah. It would be like, oh, yeah. No. So Keith sent him a new girlfriend. And
how'd the old girlfriend take that? That can cause
she went in the garbage, is how she took it.
She went in the garbage because Max likes to tear apart his fabrics. He has to meet you at the door with dish towels. So that's Max. That's
good boy.
And the dog that we talked about that would see things, that was Sophie. And Sophie was actually at our other house with us as well. And
she would see things there too.
Okay.
And so she would just stare and like follow.
And what was cool was she passed 2 years ago in February, actually on Louis' birthday, a year later, but she was actually very often my gauge for if I was actually hearing or seeing something. Because one of the side effects of my treatment when I was younger was I have hearing loss. So there's certain frequencies I literally can't hear. And sometimes there'll be sounds that are like just on the cusp of me being able to hear them. So like I'll feel something and I'll be like, I think there might be a sound. And especially at the old house, but this one too, sometimes I would hear like this heavy breathing, but I couldn't really tell, like, am I just hearing something? And I would look to her and see like, how is she reacting? And she would perk up and start like looking, and a few times start growling. So she was very gifted, and she had like near-death experiences and stuff herself.
Oh, wow.
Oh man.
So Amy, I looked over real quick, Amy, and I saw your dad's face, and it scared the shit out of me before I realized it was the thing. Yeah. I knew that was going to happen. I knew it. I was like, a face.
My dad joins us here sometimes.
He does.
In the ether.
Yep. So, Christa, when you were saying that she passed and then Louis was born a year later on the same day, do you think that some of his scared tendencies are part of her spirit coming back and being like, oh shit, I was here before. I know there's stuff here but I know they're going to take care of me, but I also know like I got to take care of them and I'm a little scared to do it.
I'm going to say no. And here's why. Sophie was tough as nails. She was 1000% my protector. She was not scared of anything. And actually she has definitely entered my hound dog. Like a lot of her persona has taken over my hound dog. And it didn't take long after her passing for a lot of that to come out. And my hound dog, we rescued, and they did not really like each other when we first got her. And I mean, it was literally like out of nowhere personality traits that were directly from Sophie. And there were even times after her passing. Oh, am I emotional? Where Marley would literally not lay in the spot on my bed where Sophie would lay, just randomly, and some nights. And it would be the same night that like I would really feel her presence there. But now, I mean, that's one of the things, like I can feel her all the time. And she's definitely become one of my guides. Like if any of you are familiar with familiars, she was undoubtedly one of my familiars. She is. And she definitely comes out in Marley, my hound dog. But
and
I don't see
if you listen to any of our other episodes, you'll hear me talk about all of my dogs, but I fully believe all of that. So the one I picked up to show you, because he was whining, I could hear him over there. Like this weekend, he wouldn't let me out of his sight. Like Amy and Megan, when my mom got home on Saturday, he tried to escape to try and find me because I wasn't home yet. Well, last Friday, the 5th, was a year anniversary from like the most anxiety-ridden day of my life of waiting to know if Briggs got out of surgery or not. So I lost my Briggs last year on Mother's Day, and Wesley is his great-grandson. And I was not intending to get Wesley. Wesley was a solo puppy. I have his mom. He was a healthy puppy, but had swimmer syndrome because she took really good care of him, so he couldn't walk. And we had to correct his walking so that he could survive. But he's very attached to me. But over the weekend, I sat down and he sat next to me. I got up, he followed me. Like, he did not let me out of his sight all weekend. And when I was gone, even when I got home Saturday and everybody else was home, he was scream whining at the window because he could see me. And I was like, you haven't done that before.
Yeah.
Like, you've done it when nobody else is home, but you haven't done it when everybody else is home. So
that's how Sophie would she had to be by my side. She would whine if she was not near me. If I was getting upset by something, she would rush over to me and sit as close as possible to me. She had to be touching me. And if I was crying, forget about it. She needed to be laying on top of me or be near me. She would literally lick the tears off my face kind of connection. Like she was, there are no words for how remarkable that dog was, but she was so intuitive. And the thing that she would pick up on, like, it was not normal, like, just, a dog, heard the house settling or whatever. Like, she knew stuff when I knew stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I love dogs. So, yeah.
They're just remarkable, aren't they?
I have a Velcro dog, too. She's right here. Right.
Gracie?
Gracie.
Right. Velcro dogs.
They're the best. I have cats. I like cats.
I recently fallen in love with a cat who has just randomly showed up about 6 months ago, and now he's glued to my hip as well.
On the Hunter's Moon, which is his name.
His name is Hunter.
See, cats are good too.
They are amazing. Mm-hmm. And Louie is best friends with Hunter.
Oh, I love that.
So cute.
Best friends forever.
Yeah, it's adorable. But we had our neighbor's niece was going into like pet medium. You know, she was training or practicing. And so our neighbor was like, hey, do you mind if she practices on your animals? And we're like, no. And so she said, well, Max loves when Dad shares his banana with him in the morning. She was in India. There's no way for her to know that. Mm-hmm. And Max says he's a good boy. He's a good boy.
Does she want to talk to my animals and practice too? Because
yeah, I can send you her name. She's absolutely amazing. She talked to us about Marley, but I don't remember too much about what she said about.
I believe it had to do with her being adopted, and she was really glad to be adopted. Mm-hmm. And it was right around the time where she was starting to really settle in, and she reflected on that.
Yeah, and with Sophie, it was.
I don't remember Sophie's part of it.
Yeah, she had some things to say about Sophie, but I don't remember all of it. I have it written down somewhere.
I don't think I want to know what John's cat Optimus has to say, because it's all going to be just terrible.
How do I take her out in her sleep?
Yeah, that's honestly like I'm waiting for her to die. Such a dick cat. Oh God, he's such a dick.
See, I know Briggs has been with me in previous lives, so we've got that. As you know, your Sophie probably was the same for you, Christa.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. They're a once in a lifetime kind of dog, even though you're going to have other dogs that give you that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. I know exactly what you mean.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And Megan's hoping Optimus Prime is a once in a lifetime kind of cat.
When he dies, my husband is going to need like hardcore therapy. Mm-hmm. Like he will not be okay after that cat dies.
Sounds like
if there's a fire and John, my husband, had to save our son or Optimus, I honest to God think it'd be a struggle for him. I think he'd be like, God, we can have another son, but I just.
Now, Megan, you just have to have a plan. You grab your son.
I was going to say that.
Of course I will. But if I'm like away from the house or something, John will be like, I don't fucking know what to do. Just come up.
He'll tell the son, help me find the cat.
Yes,
and I'll bring you out too.
Yes. Yeah. He'll be like, your reward is life for finding my cat.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You think I exaggerate?
No.
Honestly, I believe you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I get
it's
it.
Fine. I'm not bitter. It's fine.
No, yeah.
Is there anything else that you want us to know about your anything?
Really? Any behind the scenes stuff you want to share?
Your favorite
about
color? What do you like to eat? Yeah. I like enchiladas.
That I'm very, very sad to see that the show has come to an end. I'm very sad that Amy wasn't a part of it at the end. Mm-hmm. But I totally understand that she needed a break and she needed some time away. Because the things that she sees, absorbs for those shows, and I can only imagine. I can only imagine. The crew, I cannot speak highly enough of how freaking amazing and fun and respectful.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I'll still find a piece of like black tape somewhere and I just like laugh it off because I think it's so funny because I'm like,
I've left some of it up because I'm like, yeah, you know what? I don't want to see that logo. You're right. Or I don't want to see that light. Keep that tape up.
They introduced us to the slidey light fixture thingies. They left one and we were like, okay, yeah, we'll keep it. You plug your lamp into it and it turns your lamp into one of those like
a dimmer?
A dimmer. Yes, a dimmer switch. Thank you. Oh my God, I breathe.
Words are hard sometimes.
Yes, words are hard. And what was the other thing? There was something else that they left and we had to contact them like the next day because we knew that one of...
Oh, it was like a piece of the audio that must have fallen behind something.
Was it Amy?
Amy in town, so they want to get it back.
No, it was one of the young guys.
You just find Amy sitting in her living room going,
can you imagine? Could you imagine? oh, Amy's here. And I didn't know she was Greek, and she was here. And so that was nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, with the Greek
I
cookies.
feel like I was blacked out for some of this because you're saying things and I have no recollection of
Me
what's
too, Krista. Me too.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't
guess
remember any of it either.
We met her dad. Do you remember that?
Dad.
Amy's dad was here for the reveal.
This is what I was on. This is the effect that the things were having on me. I don't remember any of this.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is like, was I there?
Do you remember?
Wait, the exterminators, the very nice guys in the street
yes,
trumpet showed up. It was hysterical.
Kevin and Isaac were their names.
And they're like, yeah. So I don't think that the animals you think are making those noises in the house.
When we
was this
saw
when I
that
talked about the
part of
mouse
it?
too?
I was like, the monkeys are pulling out them at night? What are
Yes,
you talking
Talk
Steve.
about?
once if you're good.
The monkeys
When
are
I
like,
saw that, I was
Mice are not going to do
Think
that.
if you
either.
need help.
yeah, I was like, don't insult my father that way. He keeps a tight ship in our house. There
Yes.
there's no rodents in our roof.
right.
Relax.
Steve's like, it's not the rats. I'm like, just like it's not the rats, Steve. It's not the dogs.
dogs.
It's
It is-
never an
it's
animal.
Never the
It
And-
might
dogs.
be the
there- and-
swamp rats out of Princess Bride.
I was just going to say, and there were
Rodents
no
of unusual
alligators.
size.
There were no alligators here either. Just saying.
There's
they
not one
made-
hiding in your pool.
No, and they did not take
They go to the
the airboat. There was not an airboat
Oh,
anywhere
yeah.
on our property that is way out in the Everglades.
Yeah.
I think
yeah,
they
it's
just
like
wanted to
15.
ride it.
But what's really cool is when we actually had Steve and his wife come down, Steve Steve Smith and his wife. We had them come visit and we actually took them on an airboat ride. And it was the first time my husband and I had been on an airboat ride, and we're natives. We had never been on a stupid, but we were like, if they did it, why shouldn't we? We should
Was it fun?
Yes, it was so cool. Except we did not see one alligator.
I was just going to ask Michelle. It's like you knew.
But
Was it
here's the
too
thing.
warm?
What was so funny is my husband was like telling the rest of it was a big boat, and it wasn't like the one that Steve Jashavi was on. It was a big boat and there's other people on it. And my husband's telling them like what the bird is and what the trees are and like all this. And then we get back to the dock and I'm like, there's an alligator. And it was
Your husband
at the
sounds like
dock.
he has golden retriever energy too.
Well, hound
No,
dog.
he was just excited to say like, oh, I know what all this stuff is because I do the same thing. I was at the state fair and people were looking at fish and they're like, that's a such and such. I'm like, no, that's a smallmouth bass. That's a largemouth bass. That's a walleye.
Yes.
That's a perch.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
and
my
they were
dad-
asking questions. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's the type where like you walk through like natural gardens or like zoos and stuff, and he tells you what the native plants are. So you don't even need to look at the little like.
Your
plant.
dad and I are
That-
friends.
He's just yeah. But that's part of his gift too. Because even if he doesn't know something, it'll just pop in his head and he'll go, oh, that's what that. And
Oh, wow.
And it's his business, you know.
That's awesome.
that too.
He's a landscape contractor. I mean, you know,
Okay.
you got to know some things.
You
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
know some plants.
But when we got back to the dock and I was like, the alligator's right here, people. And I didn't tell anybody until after I got off the boat, took a picture. And then I was like, hey, everybody, there's a gator right here.
Oh my God. I would be scared shitless if I saw an alligator. I'd be like,
Yeah,
I'm
me
going
too.
to
They're
die.
amazing.
They
They're
are amazing.
wonderful. They're
They're
amazing.
View them from afar because listen, I can't watch the dead files at night. Okay. I have to watch it
oh, I
during the
can't
day.
either.
Thank you,
It has to be
Krista.
daylight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't.
Noon on a
Anything
Tuesday.
that's done spooky vibe, I can't do at night.
I love
Noon
it.
on a Tuesday. And then even then, sometimes I have to pause it. And I
Wait,
text
what was-
Amy about it.
What was the movie that we watched? And then I was like, oh, yeah, no, I'm done. It wasn't Exorcist. We finally watched The Exorcist.
No.
I had not
horrific.
watched.
That's scary.
The poem.
I will
The Pope's
never watch
Exorcist.
that. I
Was it
will
like the
never.
Annabelle, the one with the Annabelle thing?
Oh, the Conjuring
doll.
That damn doll,
The
Yeah,
Conjuring.
I hate dolls.
fucking doll.
I didn't watch it. No.
I do.
I liked Halloween. You know, it stays pretty much off the radar. It's mostly jump scares. They like that.
I like.
I like
My dad
Disney
and I almost
movies.
went to see the first Omen yesterday. So
I like Encanto. That's a good one.
I kind of feel like this house is Encanto, actually.
Oh
When
my
I watched that
God.
movie, I was like, that's what this
Do
house
you
is.
know somebody named Bruno that you don't talk to? Because that would
Yes.
really, there we go.
I do know a Bruno, and
You
we haven't
are-
talked in a long time.
Encanto.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Christa's Mirabelle.
Yes, she is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I haven't
Totally
seen it.
amazing.
It's so cute.
Really cute.
Oh my God, it's so
really
cute.
It's so what we're talking about, but benevolent.
Yeah. Like you would, if you had seen it, you would totally think this conversation is the coolest thing ever because it really is.
Oh, I just thought of something interesting, you guys.
Tell us.
One of the other things with me that it wasn't relevant to the story, so I don't know if Amy picked it up and didn't mention it, whatever, but one of the other things that actually was taken care of before the team even had to get here was there was a child hanging on to me that I had picked up while volunteering at the hospital or just going back. I used to do a lot of work there. And it was literally a child who was, the way that it was described was really sort of upsetting, but it was basically like the child, it wasn't like it was disfigured and disformed, like it was like partially in, partially out, but it was hanging on to me. And I literally, cause I remember like telling Steve, yeah, it was literally hanging on because I always felt like there was this pressure on my shoulder weighing me down.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, there was a little kid that was hanging on to me that I had accidentally picked up. And it wasn't malicious.
Right.
He went at some point when I was walking through the hospital, she found me as a safe person and latched onto me and then just never let go. I have no idea how long it was attached to me either.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's when you just gotta be like, Jack, I'll never let go. Whoops.
Well, and so I remember, now it's coming back to me. We had to do some sort of thing where we helped it move on because it needed help transitioning kind of thing.
I'm sure he was just, the child was just kind of confused
so he just
and
wanted
didn't know
to
what was
move
going
on. He
on.
or she just wanted to move on.
Yeah.
And it just felt safe around.
Yeah.
Which,
I mean, you had all sorts of pets to play with.
Yeah. You had bird, cats, goats.
True. Oh yeah, I'm sure he, I don't know, I keep saying he, so
then it must go with he.
I feel like it was a he too. I don't know why, but I seem to feel like it was a he.
Yeah, so.
But it was interesting, the whole detachments and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It was.
That's really neat.
Intense.
Yeah. The one thing that I would also, the last thing that I'd like to share with people is just if you are experiencing things and you don't know where to start or you talk to people and you don't know if they're legit, genuinely reach out to spirit mechanics because they'll, even if it's just the conversation where they can tell you, yeah, that person's full of shit. Or, well, no, it sounds like they know what they're talking about. Yeah, go, they're probably someone that would be good to trust. Or they'll say, we can come down and take a look, but they really are. I mean, my mom's already said it, but cannot stress enough how wonderful they are. Follow their pages if you want to support them and keep up with, they truly are so knowledgeable. And even just passively looking at their content, you'll learn stuff and can't speak highly enough about them.
That's awesome. And we're interviewing them next week too. Yep. So if everybody listens, you can listen to them.
Yeah. And you can't just become a mechanic. You have to work your butt off and then you have to become an honorary and a trainee. And I haven't even gotten to that.
But that is something to mention too. And they are happy to have people in different states. So you enjoy helping people and something that you want to pursue. They'll work with you and help you learn your abilities so that you're able to be their, Florida representative, Tennessee representative, awesome. Whatever state it is. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. They really
do
are.
Tarot readings and stuff on Thursdays that you can put your name in and stuff.
Oh,
yeah, they're awesome.
That's fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you two ever find yourself up in Minnesota way.
Oh yeah,
Minnesota.
Oh for sure. Oh so.
Yeah, we like to accentuate our vowels.
Yeah.
Oh for cute. Oh for cute.
Listen, sometimes Christa will pull out a Boston. What is it? Boston? What do you pull out sometimes?
I pull out various. Yeah, I unintentionally use a lot of different accents.
Keys.
I don't think Boston. I emphasize A's. I think fantastic.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
I'll do a lot accidentally.
Well, I'm like, who are
that's almost like a Brooklyn.
Yeah, I don't even know where it comes from. People call me out for it.
Queens, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm literally just
you were
pulling
bored with your
shit
regular
out of my ass. I don't even know.
Well, it's like Amy Allen who says heart attack or psychic.
Yeah. She pulls some amazing, weird, like, we're like, Amy, what? Because we talk to her all the time. I'm texting her. I'm like, Amy.
Yeah.
And she's like, please stop texting me. I've asked you 10 times.
Just kidding. We don't have her phone number.
No.
I wish.
I wish.
Oh my God. Well.
All right. Well, yeah, we've been kept you quite a while here.
Yeah,
this has been delightful.
It's been so fun. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for having us. I'm glad that Renee, who is a trainee, texted me and was like, hey, they're looking for, and I'm like, who? And she's like, well, you're not part of the group. And yeah, she's like that. And I'm like,
how do you not know?
I didn't know this discussion group.
I'm teasing. Yeah.
I didn't know. And then, so yeah, now I'm a fan.
Now you're telling everybody you've ever met. Like, you have to listen to The Activity Continues.
I am.
And they're like, Michelle, please stop talking to us. I don't even know you.
They're like, please, enough about this show.
Yeah. No, we would love that. Spread the word.
Spread the word.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, again, I can't say this enough. We appreciate you taking the time to meet with us. We've really, really enjoyed talking to you. And it's just been delightful. It's been wonderful.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. Yeah. And thanks for doing your research.
That too.
And I will say it was super, super fun to actually watch the episode through your guys' eyes, because my mother still hasn't even watched the episode. So just back to like watch you guys react, and then it was some of the same react. So it was fun. It was thank you.
Good.
Hey, we didn't have to everyone out herself, you guys.
This time,
not this time.
This time, I'm sorry I called you 12 years old.
It's okay. It's all good. Water and bridge.
You take it, because then you get to be the only person carded when you're almost 40. When you're sitting down with your younger siblings.
They still card me, and I'm like, great. Like, do you see there? And I'm like, oh my God, I love you.
I still get carded, and I'm over 50.
You know what? I didn't get carded 2 days ago. Yesterday. Honestly, though, I'm not even going to mention where I was shopping, because bad on that girl.
Yeah. Secret shopping
carded me.
She didn't card a 17-year-old.
You know what's funny, though? And I never got carded before I was 21. Not that I was trying to, buy
Michelle.
I would need
it's coming out now. Michelle's like, what am I learning?
If I'm, getting a drink for somebody else. But then once I turned one, it seemed like it never happened. But I don't drink much, so it doesn't happen often. But yeah, I didn't get carded yesterday, and I'm insulted.
Chris is like, Mom, I was getting drinks for my friends.
I would be the one. I would be the one dragging her to the bar. We went to my girlfriend's bachelorette party, and she had to use my ID to get through security.
What in the statute of limitation?
Do I need to cut that?
Yeah.
No, because I didn't think that. Wait, did I say where we were?
Do we need lawyers?
I think that was just a dream. I don't think that actually happened. But
you didn't say where you were
anyway.
Yeah,
it's fine. Anyway. You still don't drink. I'm like, come on, Krista, just have a glass of wine.
So the peer pressure's coming from inside the house.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm such a solid person. And I stand on my 2 feet very strongly.
Yes.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Have a wonderful night. Stay away from the gators.
Yeah. We'll do our best.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.
Next week, we will be talking to, drumroll, please. That was a terrible drumroll. Spirit mechanics.
If you didn't listen to us say that 17 times in the
wait, who are we interviewing next week?
Spirit mechanics, I think that's the
Is that how it's pronounced? Okay.
Spirit. Different than Spirit Halloween. Spirit mechanics.
Definitely.
This is the paranormal group that Amy Allen works with, and we cannot wait to hear more about what they do, their stories, pretty much anything they want to tell us, especially those who have worked with Dead Files clients, including Christa and Michelle, who we just spoke to. So we were excited to speak to them before speaking with Christa and Michelle, but even more so now. I think we just can't wait.
Yeah.
So we hope you enjoyed our conversation with Christa and Michelle, and we will see you all next week.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Bye.
I am pooped.
Thank you for listening to the Activity Continues podcast. We really appreciate you giving us your ears for a bit. Please reach out if you have a spooky story you'd like us to share on the show. We can be reached at theactivitycontinues@gmail.com or through our website or any of our socials. Links are all in the description of the show. Please feel free to drop us a note and say hi. And join us next time when the activity continues. The Activity Continues is produced by me, Amy, at Collected Sounds Media and is part of the independent Collected Sounds podcast network. We are also proud members of the Boo Pod network of super cool podcasts.
Nailed it.